Alex had always been curious. That curiosity had brought him to the edges of human colonies and even into the deepest parts of space. Now, he stood on the observation deck of the alien research station called Zetherian Prime, a place humans were only allowed to visit with strict permission, but curiosity, as always, had a way of getting him into trouble. The station was a masterpiece of alien engineering. Towers of translucent metal spiraled upward like giant shells, and the floors glimmered with a faint golden light. Every surface pulsed with a quiet energy, and strange machines hummed in rhythmic patterns. Alex marveled at everything, taking careful steps, knowing that one wrong move could get him into serious trouble. Just, "Don't touch anything," he muttered to himself. Not everything here is meant for humans, but humans had a way of testing limits, and Alex was no exception. He moved toward a section of the station where energy conduits ran along the walls like glowing rivers. In the center, there was a control panel with a holographic interface that seemed alive. The panels flickered with alien symbols, and Alex's fingers itched to press one. He hesitated, knowing that pressing the wrong button could trigger alarms. Curiosity never killed the human, he whispered, smiling to himself. He leaned forward and tapped the screen. Instantly, a siren blared. Lights flashed red. Panels shifted as if the station itself were reacting to his action. Before Alex could pull his hand back, a shadow moved behind him, fast, precise, and terrifying. You messed with the wrong person." Alex froze. The voice was sharp, commanding, full of authority. He turned slowly to see a figure approaching. Tall, strong, and imposing. Her skin shimmered like polished bronze, and her eyes glowed a faint amber. She wore sleek armor that hugged her form, marked with alien insignias that he didn't recognize. Every step she took made a low hum through the floor. Alex's mouth opened, but nothing came out. I didn't mean to," he started. Zira, the alien warrior, crossed her arms. "Didn't mean to?" she repeated. "You activated a high-security panel. Do you have any idea what you just did?" Alex swallowed hard. "No. Yes. Maybe?" Zira narrowed her eyes. "Do you know what happens when someone tampers with these panels?" Alex shook his head, feeling the sweat bead on his forehead. He had read about alien security protocols, but none of it had prepared him for standing in front of a living warrior whose gaze could pierce through steel. "Someone dies," Zira said calmly, her voice cold as ice. "And yet here you stand." Alex stepped back instinctively. I promise I didn't touch anything important. I was just curious." "Curious," she repeated, the single word dripping with skepticism. Humans are always curious, always testing limits, always thinking they can understand what they do not. Alex tried to smile. "Well, that's kind of what makes us human." Zira's eyes flickered like she considered this, but her stance did not soften. "Human or not, you're on my station, and now you will follow me. You will explain yourself to the council." Alex nodded, trying to hide his fear. "Sure, council. No problem." He followed, but his curiosity still burned. He couldn't help but glance at the panels he had triggered. They pulsed faintly, almost alive, as if they were watching him. The corridor they walked through was long and tubular, walls covered in alien symbols. Every step Alex took echoed in the silent chamber. Occasionally he saw aliens of all shapes and sizes, each more strange and fascinating than the last, pausing to watch the human being escorted by the powerful warrior. Finally, they reached a large chamber. The walls were lined with screens displaying different parts of the station, star maps and alien schematics. In the center stood a circle of high-ranking alien officials, all staring at Alex. Zira stepped forward. "This human," she said, her voice carrying across the room, "interfered with a high-security system without permission. He claims it was curiosity." One of the officials, a tall being with translucent skin that showed faintly glowing veins, raised a hand. "Curiosity is no excuse for triggering the containment protocols. He could have damaged critical systems or endangered lives." Alex swallowed. He wanted to explain, but the words caught in his throat. He hadn't thought about danger. He had only wanted to see how the system worked. Zira's gaze bore into him. "Do you know what would happen if this were a combat station under threat? Do you know what would happen if a mistake like this triggered a weapon?" Alex shook his head, feeling the weight of his own recklessness. I didn't think," the council murmured among themselves. Alex realized that humans were tiny, fragile creatures compared to these aliens. Their technology, their power, It dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. And yet, he also felt something familiar stirring inside him. "Do you know why humans survive in the galaxy?" Alex finally said, his voice firmer than he expected. "It's not because we're the strongest. Not because we're the fastest. We survive because we think. We adapt, we solve problems, and even when we make mistakes, we try to fix them." The room went silent. Even Zira's amber eyes seemed to widen slightly. One of the officials spoke, curiosity in their tone. "Do you think your words mean something here? That human's small intellect can match the precision of the Zetherian Council?" Alex took a deep breath. "Maybe not match, but sometimes thinking differently can save lives. Sometimes it's the human way to find solutions others cannot." Zira tilted her head. "Is that so?" she said. Her tone was both challenge and amusement. "Then perhaps you will have the chance to prove it." Alex blinked. "Prove it?" "Yes," Zira said, stepping closer. "The station has trials. Tests of skill, intelligence, and courage. If you can pass, you will earn the Council's trust. Fail and—" She let the sentence hang in the air. Alex didn't need her to finish it. Alex's heart raced, but he felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Excitement. Danger and challenge didn't scare him. They fueled him. He had survived worse situations before, and he had the ingenuity humans were known for. I'll do it," he said. "I'll pass your tests. Just tell me where to start." Zira's lips curved into the faintest hint of a smile. "Good, you will start immediately. Follow me." She led him through another corridor, and this time Alex noticed the changes. The air seemed thicker with energy. The lights flickered with intensity and strange machinery hummed louder. Finally, they arrived at a massive chamber, the floor lined with glowing grids and the walls covered in holographic targets. "This is your first trial," Zira said. "A test of focus, speed, and strategy. You must navigate this chamber without triggering alarms. Every step you take is monitored. Every decision matters." Alex looked around. The grids on the floor shifted constantly, forming patterns that he had to memorize and avoid. Holographic walls projected obstacles, moving and changing unpredictably. The challenge was unlike anything he had ever faced. He bent his knees slightly, eyes scanning the room. He could feel the energy under his feet, could see the faint lines tracing paths through the chamber. He took a deep breath. This was it, the first real test of human adaptability against alien precision. "Remember," Zira said, her voice calm but firm. "One mistake, and the chamber resets. You will start over. Do not fail." Alex nodded. He had no intention of failing. Not here. Not now. He stepped onto the first grid, carefully watching the lines of energy. His mind raced, calculating the timing, the patterns, and the paths. Slowly, deliberately, he moved forward, one step at a time, feeling the thrill of the challenge surge through him. Every instinct, every calculation, every split-second decision counted. The chamber responded to his movements. The holographic walls shifted, but Alex adapted, using his human intuition to predict their motion. He realized that the chamber wasn't just testing strength, it was testing creativity, reasoning, and courage. And humans excelled at all three. Minutes passed. The chamber pulsed with light and sound, but Alex pressed on. One misstep would reset everything, but he refused to falter. He could feel Zira watching, her eyes never leaving him, her presence both intimidating and motivating. Finally, he reached the center of the chamber. The grids glowed brightly, signaling completion. Alex exhaled, a wide grin spreading across his face despite the sweat and exhaustion. He had done it. Zira stepped forward, her expression unreadable. Then slowly she nodded. "Impressive. The Council will be pleased, and for now. But this is only the beginning, human. Only the beginning." Alex felt a rush of pride. He had survived the first trial, not by brute strength, but by thinking, adapting, and trusting his instincts. And in that moment, he realized something extraordinary. Being human in a galaxy full of powerful aliens was not a weakness. It was a strength. And this was just the beginning of his journey. Alex felt a mix of relief and adrenaline after completing the first trial. The chamber still hummed faintly with energy, and Zira's amber eyes followed his every move. For a moment, Alex allowed himself a small smile. He had survived, but he knew this was only the beginning. The trials were meant to test not just his skill, but the very limits of human adaptability against alien precision. "Follow me," Zira said, turning sharply. Her movements were precise, almost feline, and Alex hurried to keep up. The corridors they walked through were wider now, but the walls still pulsed with alien energy. Occasionally, strange lights danced across the floor like living creatures. Every time Alex glanced at them, he could feel the weight of alien observation pressing on him. Finally, they arrived at a chamber unlike the first. It was vast, circular, and filled with floating platforms suspended in midair by some kind of anti-gravity field. The platforms shifted slowly, rising and falling in unpredictable patterns. Above, holographic projections of alien symbols moved in complex sequences. "This is your second trial," Zira said. Her tone was calm, but it carried authority. "A test of intelligence, observation, and timing. You must reach the central platform without falling or triggering the alarm systems." Alex studied the platforms. Some were small, barely large enough for his feet. Others seemed stable, but their surfaces shimmered with faint energy, warning him that missteps could trigger a reset. He realized this trial was not just physical. It was a puzzle, a test of human reasoning and strategy. He took a deep breath. "Okay, Alex," he whispered to himself. "Think first. Move second." He stepped onto the first platform. It floated upward slightly, then tilted, testing his balance. Alex shifted his weight carefully, moving in small, calculated steps. He noticed that the patterns of the platforms followed a rhythm. Some moved faster than others. Some paused unexpectedly. His human intuition, his ability to notice small patterns, became his greatest tool. As he moved from platform to platform, a holographic projection appeared before him, showing a sequence of symbols. Alex realized these symbols were a code, a clue to the correct path. He crouched, memorizing the sequence and matching it to the platforms. Every step required him to combine observation, logic, and timing. Zira watched silently from the edge of the chamber. Her amber eyes followed every move, analyzing his strategy. Alex could feel her scrutiny, but he didn't falter. In fact, the presence of such a powerful observer seemed to sharpen his focus. Humans often thrived under pressure, and he was about to prove it. Halfway through, Alex encountered a moving platform that rotated unpredictably. He paused, calculating the timing. One wrong move could send him plummeting into the energy field below. He waited, counting the rhythm in his head. Then, with a precise jump and careful landing, he crossed to the next platform. His heart pounded, but he felt a surge of confidence. Suddenly, a holographic barrier appeared in his path. It shimmered with an intense light, blocking the way forward. Alex frowned. He could not jump over it, and stepping back would break his rhythm. He scanned the surrounding platforms and noticed that one of them had a pressure-sensitive switch. Alex smiled. "A puzzle within a puzzle," he muttered. He carefully stepped onto the platform with the switch. The moment his weight pressed down, the holographic barrier shimmered and disappeared. He had solved it. Human ingenuity had once again proven effective. As he neared the central platform, he noticed a final challenge. A narrow beam of energy stretching across the last gap. It pulsed with high intensity, warning of danger. Alex took a deep breath. He focused on the beam, noticing the faint fluctuations in its pattern. He timed his step carefully, balancing with precision, and made it across safely. He reached the central platform and placed his hand on the glowing panel. A soft chime echoed through the chamber, signaling success. Alex exhaled, feeling a rush of pride. He had completed the second trial, not by brute strength, but by observation, logic, and timing, the qualities humans excelled at. Zira stepped forward. "Impressive," she said. "You understand the importance of observation and strategy. Humans are unpredictable yet resourceful. That unpredictability is valuable." Alex smiled, feeling a small sense of triumph. "Thank you, I just try to think things through." Zira tilted her head. "Thinking is one thing. Execution is another. You have proven both. But there is one final test, one that will challenge every skill you have shown so far." Alex's heart skipped a beat. He had survived 2 trials, but he knew the last would be the hardest. What kind of test?" he asked. "This," Zira said, motioning to a large chamber beyond. "A simulation of real danger. You must navigate a scenario where the station is under attack. You will face threats, puzzles, and time constraints. Your success will determine the Council's final judgment." Alex swallowed. The chamber ahead was massive. From the entrance, he could see holographic enemies forming patterns, obstacles rising from the floor, and systems flashing alerts. The simulation was alive, unpredictable, and dangerous. As he stepped inside, the doors sealed behind him with a hiss. Alex's mind raced. He had faced challenges before, but this combined everything: strategy, observation, agility, and quick thinking. He realized the human's greatest advantage in situations like this was creativity, the ability to improvise when faced with the unknown. The simulation began. Holographic drones appeared, flying in complex patterns. Energy barriers rose and fell, blocking some paths while opening others. Alex analyzed the patterns, quickly identifying safe routes. He moved with precision, jumping over barriers, ducking under drones, and solving energy puzzles in real time. One obstacle forced him to reroute across a series of moving platforms while simultaneously hacking a security console. Alex's fingers moved rapidly across the alien interface, translating symbols and pressing panels in a rhythm only humans could achieve under pressure. The holographic drones attempted to block him, but he dodged with human reflexes and timing. Minutes passed, though they felt like hours. The simulation adapted to his movements, introducing new challenges, faster obstacles, and unexpected twists. Alex felt the intensity rise. Sweat dripped from his forehead and his muscles ached, but he pushed forward. Humans thrived under challenge, and he was determined to prove that even a single human could stand against alien complexity. Finally, Alex reached the central control station within the simulation. The core of the test awaited him, a puzzle that required combining logic, timing, and agility. He studied the console, noticing patterns in the energy flows. His mind worked quickly, identifying sequences, predicting changes, and acting before the system could react. With a final series of precise movements, Alex completed the puzzle. The simulation ended with a surge of light and the holographic enemies dissipated. The chamber powered down, leaving him standing alone, breathing heavily but victorious. The doors opened and Zira stepped inside. She studied him quietly, her expression unreadable. Then she spoke. "You have done well. Few humans could have survived this simulation, let alone succeed. Your ability to think, adapt, and execute has earned the Council's attention." Alex allowed himself a small bow. "Thank you, Commander. I just tried to do my best." Zira nodded slowly. "Humans are unpredictable. You can be reckless, but you can also be brilliant. That is why your species survives. You are not the strongest, but you find ways where others fail. That is your strength." Alex smiled, feeling pride swell in his chest. "Then, does this mean I've earned your trust?" "Partially," Zira said. "Trust is earned over time. But you have proven your worth today. You will be allowed to continue your work on this station, under supervision, and you will be given tasks that will test your abilities further." Alex's mind raced with possibilities. He had survived 2 trials and a dangerous simulation. He had impressed one of the most powerful warriors on the station. And yet he knew this was just the beginning. The Council, Zira, and the mysteries of Zetherian Prime would continue to challenge him. For the first time, Alex felt a sense of belonging. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, but here his species' ingenuity, adaptability, and courage had proven themselves. And he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, he was ready. As he followed Zira out of the chamber, he glanced back at the simulation. The glowing platforms and holographic drones no longer seemed threatening. They were reminders of what humans could achieve. And Alex smiled, knowing that being human in a galaxy full of powerful aliens was not a weakness, it was a strength, and the real journey was just beginning. Alex had barely caught his breath after surviving the simulation, when an urgent alarm echoed through the station. Red lights flashed across the corridors, and the hum of the machinery shifted to a sharp, tense frequency. Zira's eyes narrowed, her stance stiffening. "Something is wrong," she said, her voice cold and commanding. "Follow me and stay close." Alex followed quickly, keeping pace with Zira as she led him through winding corridors and massive chambers. He had already seen the power and precision of the Zetherian station, but now it felt different, alive, aware, and under threat. His instincts screamed that this was no ordinary test. They reached a central observation deck where the Council's holographic screens displayed multiple points across the station. Alex could see that some areas were flickering, lights failing in patterns he didn't understand. "What is happening?" he asked. Zira's eyes swept across the screens. "A rogue system has activated. Some unknown virus or interference has taken control of the station's secondary systems. If we do not stop it, it could compromise the entire station and everyone on it." Alex's heart raced. This was real danger, unlike the controlled trials he had faced before. His mind sharpened. Humans had a history of surviving impossible odds, and he was determined to prove that once again. "Where do I start?" he asked, already scanning the panels and controls in front of him. Zira hesitated for a moment. "I will guide you. You will need to access the system nodes in the lower levels. The virus is adaptive, but humans have a way of thinking differently. You may be able to outsmart it," Alex nodded. "Then let's do it." The journey to the lower levels was tense. Elevators hummed as they descended. Corridors shifted with moving platforms, and the lights flickered unpredictably. Occasionally, small drones, now malfunctioning, buzzed dangerously close, their sensors detecting any movement as a potential threat. Alex dodged them, relying on his reflexes while Zira covered him, her movements swift and precise. When they reached the first node, Alex noticed that it was surrounded by energy barriers pulsing with chaotic light. The system's interface displayed a tangle of symbols, constantly changing, impossible to read in full at a glance. "Your task," Zira said, "is to stabilize this node and reconnect it to the main system. If the virus spreads, it will create chain reactions across the station." Alex stepped forward, studying the symbols. They shifted and morphed in complex patterns like an alien language, yet he noticed a rhythm within the chaos. Humans had an ability to recognize patterns quickly, to improvise when systems seemed unpredictable. He placed his hand on the console and began tapping symbols, testing responses, and noting the changes. The energy barriers pulsed in reaction, but Alex did not falter. He adjusted his movements, combining observation, logic, and intuition. The alien system resisted, adapting to his inputs, but he adapted back, thinking faster than the machine could anticipate. Minutes passed, the tension thickening with every shift in the system. Zira watched silently, her amber eyes fixed on him. Alex could feel her judgment, yet he used it as motivation. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, but in moments like this, their adaptability and creativity shone brightest. Finally, with a precise sequence of actions, the first node stabilized. The energy barriers dissipated and a soft chime echoed, signaling success. Alex exhaled, feeling a rush of triumph. "Good," Zira said. "You are faster than I expected. But this is only the beginning. The virus adapts and it will attempt to counter your next move." Alex nodded, determination surging. "Then I'll just have to be faster." They moved to the second node, deeper in the station. Here the challenge intensified. The energy field shifted more rapidly. Drones moved in unpredictable patterns, and the symbols on the interface changed faster than Alex could follow at first glance. But he remembered the human strength of improvisation. When patterns seem impossible, think differently. Alex studied the interface, noticing that certain symbols, though constantly changing, followed a repeating cycle. He waited for the right moment, then executed his actions with precision. The energy barriers flickered, resisting him, but he adjusted mid-sequence. His human reflexes allowed him to react in ways the system could not anticipate. Zira nodded slightly. "Impressive. Humans often rely on intuition where logic alone fails. That is why your species endures." Alex smiled briefly, focusing again. The stakes were higher now. The malfunctioning drones buzzed aggressively, and one nearly knocked him off balance. He leapt to avoid it, landing perfectly on a safe platform. Every movement required focus, speed, and creativity. Failure was not an option. By the time he reached the third node, Alex realized something remarkable. The virus, although complex and adaptive, had predictable limitations. It could respond, but it could not anticipate true improvisation, the human element. He could think outside the system's programmed logic. He manipulated the symbols with speed and accuracy, anticipating the virus's responses. Zira watched silently, occasionally stepping in to redirect malfunctioning drones but leaving Alex to handle the system itself. It was a true test of human ingenuity against alien technology. Finally, with a final sequence of careful adjustments, the last node stabilized. The red alerts across the station disappeared and the energy hum returned to normal. Alex exhaled deeply, relief washing over him. He had done it. He had faced real danger and had not only survived, it had been humans' quick thinking and adaptability that saved the station. Zira studied him carefully. "You have exceeded expectations, human. You have demonstrated not only courage and intelligence, but a capacity to act where others might hesitate. The Council will take notice of this. Unusual human strength. Alex felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he truly understood the HFY principle, the idea that humans, though physically weaker or smaller than other species, could excel through ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. "Thank you," he said, finally allowing himself a smile. "I just tried to think ahead and act quickly." Zira tilted her head, studying him. "Thinking is one thing. Execution under pressure is another. You have proven both. That is why humans survive where others might fail." Suddenly, a calm alert chimed. Zira's expression shifted to one of concern. "The Council wishes to speak with you immediately. They wish to discuss your actions." Alex followed her to the Council chamber. The atmosphere was tense but curious. The Council members, who had been skeptical of humans before, now regarded him with a mixture of surprise and respect. "You have done what few could accomplish," one of the elders said. "You have stabilized the station under real threat. Your species' ingenuity and adaptability are remarkable. We underestimated humans. Perhaps we should no longer do so." Alex nodded humbly. "I'm honored, but I was just trying to do what needed to be done. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and solving problems. That's all." Another council member, a being with crystalline skin that shimmered in the chamber light, leaned forward. "Your performance demonstrates why your kind has endured across the stars. Strength is not always measured in power or size. Sometimes the mind is stronger than any weapon." Zira's amber eyes softened slightly as she spoke. "Humans are unpredictable, yet resourceful. Alex has shown that even a single human can achieve what many cannot." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had faced challenges, survived trials, and now proven the value of human ingenuity to an entire alien council. For a moment, he allowed himself to imagine what humans could achieve in the galaxy, if given the opportunity. The council conferred quietly among themselves. After a few moments, they spoke as one. "You, Alex, are to be considered a valued member of this station. Your abilities will be tested further, but you have earned our trust and our respect." Alex bowed respectfully. "Thank you. I will do my best." Zira placed a hand on his shoulder, a rare gesture of approval. "Do not let this pride blind you. There are still challenges ahead, and your abilities will be tested in ways you cannot yet imagine. But today, human, you have proven something extraordinary. Your species is not to be underestimated." Alex smiled, feeling the weight of her words. Humans had always survived against the odds. They had endured, adapted, and thrived where others failed. And now, on this alien station, he had shown that human ingenuity could shine even in the most alien and dangerous environments. As he left the chamber with Zira, he looked out at the station. The hum of the machinery was steady again and the corridors were calm. But Alex knew this was only the beginning. More challenges awaited him, more trials, and perhaps even threats that he could not yet foresee. And yet he felt ready. Because humans were not just survivors. They were thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. And Alex would continue to prove that no matter the challenge, humanity could stand tall, even among the stars. Alex walked through the quiet corridors of Zetherian Prime with a sense of purpose. The trials and the rogue system incident had tested him, and he had survived each challenge. But he knew that the station and its council would not consider a human fully proven until he faced the final test. A mission outside the safety of the station, into the unpredictable void of space itself. Zira led him to a docking bay where a sleek shuttle waited. Its design was unlike anything Alex had ever seen, a combination of alien elegance and deadly precision. The bay was empty except for the hum of the engines, the soft glow of energy panels, and the quiet presence of Zira herself. "This is your final task," she said. Her amber eyes met his, serious and unwavering. "You will pilot this craft to a nearby sector where an unstable asteroid field is threatening nearby colonies. You must navigate through it, rescue stranded personnel, and secure critical resources before they are lost. This will test your judgment, reflexes, and ingenuity." Alex felt a rush of excitement. Finally, a challenge that combined everything he had learned: thinking under pressure, observation, adaptation, and courage. He nodded firmly. "I won't let you down." Zira's lips curved into the faintest smile. "See that you don't. The council is watching, and so am I." Alex entered the shuttle, feeling the alien controls beneath his hands. The interface responded to thought and motion, Unlike any human craft, lights flashed, panels shifted, and symbols glowed in complex patterns. He took a deep breath, recalling everything he had learned from the trials. Focus, observation, timing, and adaptability, these were his tools. As the shuttle lifted off, the station's atmosphere changed. The viewports revealed a vast asteroid field ahead, massive rocks tumbling unpredictably in zero gravity. Stray energy surges lit some asteroids in bright blue flashes, making navigation even more challenging. Alex's pulse quickened. "Engage thrusters carefully." Zira's voice came over the comm, calm but authoritative. "Observe the patterns. Do not rush. Humans can find paths where others see only chaos." Alex nodded, though Zira could not see him. He studied the movement of the asteroids, noticing subtle patterns in their rotation and collision paths. His human intuition, coupled with careful observation, allowed him to chart a course. He tilted the shuttle, dodging a tumbling rock, then accelerated to avoid another. Each move required calculation and timing. One mistake could destroy the shuttle, or worse, fail the mission. Halfway through the field, Alex noticed a small ship trapped between two massive asteroids. Its crew was visible through the viewport, signaling for help. He realized the craft had no power, likely damaged by the unstable field. "This is it," he muttered to himself. "Time to think like a human." Alex carefully maneuvered his shuttle closer, dodging falling debris and energy surges. Using a combination of gravity pulses from nearby asteroids and careful thruster bursts, he positioned himself precisely. The trapped ship's crew began to react with surprise and relief. He attached a tether and activated the magnetic stabilizers of his shuttle. Slowly, inch by inch, he pulled the damaged ship free from the deadly crush of asteroids. Every movement had to be exact. A wrong push could send both ships spinning into destruction. But Alex remained calm, focused on the task. Finally, with a final push, the damaged ship drifted safely away from the field. Alex exhaled, feeling the rush of accomplishment. He had saved lives through careful planning, quick thinking, and human ingenuity. But the mission wasn't over. Ahead, he could see an unstable cluster of energy-rich asteroids, floating dangerously close to collision. Zira's voice crackled again. "Those resources are critical for the station. Secure them, Alex, but be careful. One misstep and they could be lost forever." Alex's eyes scanned the field. He noticed that the energy surges followed a subtle rhythm, like the pulse of the station itself. Timing his approach with that rhythm, he guided his shuttle between the asteroids using calculated thruster bursts to avoid collisions. He deployed specialized collection pods, each absorbing the energy safely into storage units. The final energy-rich asteroid hovered dangerously close to another massive rock. Alex calculated the timing, then executed a precise maneuver. With a careful combination of lateral thrusts and gravity-assisted momentum, he nudged the asteroid into the collection field without causing a collision. The energy flowed safely into the pods, secured for transport back to Zetherian Prime. A deep sense of accomplishment filled him. He had completed the final mission, using human ingenuity and courage to overcome impossible odds. He set a course back to the station, his mind racing with relief and excitement. When he docked, Zira was waiting. Her stance was relaxed, but her amber eyes held respect, a rare expression from the warrior. "You have done what few could accomplish," she said. "You have saved lives, secured critical resources, and demonstrated human creativity under extreme pressure. The Council will be impressed." Alex smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and exhaustion. "Thank you, I just try to think ahead and act when it matters most." Zira nodded slowly. "That is the essence of humanity. Your species survives not because of strength or size, but because you adapt, think, and act where others hesitate. Today you have proven it beyond doubt." The Council convened immediately. Alex stood before them once more, this time not as a visitor, not as a trial participant, but as a respected contributor. The elders regarded him with a mix of curiosity, surprise, and admiration. "You have faced trials, solved puzzles, and survived dangers that few could endure," one of the elders said. "More impressively, you have acted decisively under pressure, saving lives and resources in the process. Humans may be small compared to other species, but you have shown that your kind's mind and ingenuity are formidable." Another council member added, "Your actions today prove the HFY principle. Humanity, underestimated and overlooked, thrives where others would fail. You have our respect and acknowledgement." Alex felt warmth in his chest. For the first time, he truly understood the power of human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. They were not just traits, they were survival tools, and in the galaxy full of powerful aliens, they were what made humanity extraordinary. Zira stepped forward. "Alex, you have earned a position on this station. You will continue to work alongside us, learning and contributing. Your species has shown potential we cannot ignore." Alex bowed respectfully. "I will do my best. I promise to uphold that trust." As he walked back through the station, Alex felt a new sense of belonging. Humans, often underestimated, could not only survive in alien worlds, they could thrive. They could think, adapt, and act when others might fail. And he, one human among many, had proven that courage, intelligence, and ingenuity were the greatest strengths of his species. For the first time, Alex looked out of the station's observation deck at the vast stars beyond. Countless worlds, unknown civilizations, and endless challenges awaited, but he no longer felt fear or doubt. Humans had a unique power, a spark of creativity, determination, and resourcefulness that no alien system could fully predict. And with that spark, Alex knew that humanity's story among the stars was only beginning. Zira approached quietly. "You have done well, human. Remember this moment and remember why your kind endures." Alex nodded, his eyes shining. "I will, and I'll continue to prove it." The stars stretched endlessly before them, a vast canvas of possibilities. Alex realized that being human was not a weakness in this vast galaxy. It was a strength, one that could survive, adapt, and thrive against any challenge. And as the station lights glimmered around him, he felt a surge of hope, pride, and excitement. For humans, the future among the stars was bright, and Alex, standing on Zetharian Prime, had become a symbol of that extraordinary potential.